Hello guys, it's Sapphire. I'm going to start with a review of American Horror Story Season 8, Episode 5, titled The Boy Wonder. And no, we're not talking about Robin. So after passing out, Cordelia wakes up. She experiences a vision of pretty much the apocalypse. And she sees this demonic pale face standing on a porch of the destroyed, academy. Then she's attacked and devoured by a mob of disease-ridden cannibals, and the man is laughing. So she wakes up, greets Madison and Queenie, and then tells her vision to the other witches and warlocks, and she's like, okay, I'm about to let him do the 7 wonders so that he may rise as supreme. Upon returning to New Orleans, Myrtle's like, no, and that you would allow a man to take the position of supreme, claim that men make terrible leaders. So in the same breath that she says men make terrible leaders, there's clearly this underlying sexist behavior from both genders. There's they really don't have each other in a very positive light. And in terms of Myrtle, what she says that men make terrible leaders, in the same breath you could say men make terrible leaders, there's also men that have made great leaders. You got Obama, you had Martin Luther King, you have people like them that made great leaders that was, and just like she brought up the terrible leaders like Attila the Hun. I'm pretty sure you go throughout history, you can find some terrible female leaders too. Like, nobody is perfect just because of their gender. Like, some of the women I read about, I can't remember what her name, but she was a European. I think she was a European queen, and she used to kill virgin women, I think, bathe in their blood to obtain her youth. No. So she just suggests that Cordelia select one of her own coven for supreme, such as Mallory, who has Myrtle witness successfully healed the wounds of a dead deer. Cordelia confesses to Myrtle that she is dying. Her powers are beginning to fade, and that the sign of her reign as supreme is coming to an end. Cordelia later meets with Coco and her father. Coco is a new student who apparently sense when danger is hidden, but to her, she thinks she just only senses gluten. But what she's actually sensing is when the danger is nearby. So she ends up asking Mallory to show Coco around the academy. Back at the male school, Hawthorne, Ariel, Moore, and Behold and Baldwin, they cast a protection spell for Langdon in preparation for the 7 wonders. Moore, believing that Langdon is the demonic man from Cordelia's vision, becomes fearful and leaves the school to go to New Orleans. Which is actually true, because after the protection spell is over, everybody's congratulating Langdon, like, yeah, and then he's looking at Langdon, and then you see like this, he sees like this, it's quick, like this demonic pale face, so he's like, oh shit, I knew I was right. I'm like, yep, sometimes you gotta go with your hunt sometimes, yeah. So he ends up stopping on the road, fill up his car at a patrol gas station, and we see Miriam Mead. I'm like, well, he gone. It's like, cause I had a feeling maybe like Landon was gonna like have the gas station thing blow up or something and kill him. And then you see the mom, I'm like, oh yeah, he did. He ain't gonna make it too long. So she ends up pulling over, acting all like she's an old, sweet, innocent lady, and ends up taking out his Achilles heels, slits his throat, and then pour gasoline on him and burn him. So then she goes outside and she meets up with her son outside of school, and she's excited to see him, and he asks if she took care of the problem. She says that he's dead. And he says these people are the only ones that can pose a threat to him. So, see, as I said before, this pettiness they have between them, male witches and warlocks, witches versus voodoos, don't mean shit. Because he says, right here, he says this himself, these people are the only ones that can pose a threat to me. So if they would have just all banded together, they probably could have prevented the apocalypse when you think about it. But no. So, he says when he becomes supreme, he can destroy the coven from within and ascend to do what he was born to do. Miriam reveals that Ariel was in on the plan to kill Moore. He is the one that let her know when he was leaving. Landon then successfully passes 6 of the 7 wonders, but performing the 7th wonder, descending to and returning from the underworld, Cordelia asks Michael not only to return, but to retrieve fellow witch Misty Day to see the extent of his powers. Angriel accuses Cordelia of changing the rules in order for Michael to fail, comparing her to her predecessor and her mother, Fiona. Fiona reminds Ariel that she is still supreme and she holds greater power over Ariel. So Langdon agrees to the challenge. He travels to hell and locates Misty Day, who has been trapped in her own hell. Landon then reawakens in the living room, and Misty materializes beside him. Langdon gloats over his achievement while Cordelia experiences a nosebleed. She proclaims Langdon the next supreme. As Cordelia recovers, Misty confides in her that she should have been left where she was. Misty tells Cordelia that the evil within hell appeared to speak to Langdon, who apparently negotiated for Misty's release. She describes Langdon as wearing the perfume of death, and that Cordelia assures her that she now has proof of Langdon's capacity for evil, and rejoices that she has now all of her original sisters returned so they may fight against Langdon in the upcoming apocalypse. We then see Miss Stevie Nicks arrive and perform Gypsy for Misty. Cordelia then pulls Madison aside and instructs her to gather information about Langdon. Behold, I'm reading that because that's how I spell behold, but I'm probably pronouncing it all wrong. So he eavesdrops on the conversation, saying that he will be joining Madison as he has now concerns of his own about Langdon. Cordelia asks Madison to travel to the place where it all began, the murder house. So the next episode we will be seeing them go to the murder house, which it will be episode 6. And I think episode 6 might be the end of the flashback, because this only has, I think, 13 episodes this season, and we're already about to be on episode 6. So yeah, it's only how many episodes this season? Yeah, it's only supposed to be. Yeah, episode 6 will be Return to Murder House. And so, hopefully this is the end of the flashback, because you know, they still are in an outpost full of, you know, poisoned people. Just saying. So, we'll see what's gonna happen. Obviously, they go to Murder House. Obviously, I think we're supposed to be seeing Miss Jessica Lange in episode 8, I believe. So obviously, we probably not gonna be done with the flashbacks at that time. So that means that will leave us with episodes 9, 10, 11. I think it's 13 episodes. So the last few episodes. So looks like episode 6, 7, 8 gonna be flashbacks. And the rest we might go back to the present and see how they defeat how you defeat the Antichrist, and we'll see if they bring back those other individuals, because there was, you know, this whole thing about, you know, the blood and everything, unless that whole special blood thing was a ruse, but I don't think so. I mean, because they had like the cooperative, you know, picking these select people for a reason, you know. So there's got to be a reason they have these people with special DNA for a reason. Oh, I don't know. I don't know if it was just something, but but I don't think it would just be just like a ruse, you know. I mean, they specifically went and picked up several people specifically before the bomb drop. So I don't know. I'm still going with Timothy and that girl being like the new Adam and Eve. That's still my theory, just because, one, out of the people of the outpost, they are pretty much young, you know. They're pretty much young. I don't see the other women pretty much, you know, going ahead and creating much life, especially since the only other men in the outpost are gay. I'm not saying they couldn't sleep with some women. I just don't see it happen. And one of them happens to be related to two of them happen to be one of them happens to have his mom there, so his options are very limited. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, comment, rate, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.